Trail runners, welcome back to Chasing Gold. We're talking to some of the top runners heading into this year's Javelina 100, chasing those golden tickets to the 2024 Western States 100. On today's show, we have Ryan Montgomery. They're 29 from Wanship, Utah. Ran their first ultra at the Antelope Canyon 50 miler in 2016, placing third in 7:47. They're a sales professional at a startup, also the founder of Out Trails, which hosts monthly retreats and group runs for the LGBTQ+ and BIPOC community. Also sponsored by Ultra, Ultimate Direction, and Suunto. Ryan, welcome to the show.
Hello, it's so great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Very, very excited to have you coming back to Javelina this year. Such an incredible performance watching you back in 2021, placing second, earning that golden ticket and a fast time, 13:33. How did that feel, and are you coming back to get back into Western States?
Yeah, so as I reflect on my 2021 race, I felt like I executed it really well, but I also felt like I had a lot in reserves because I didn't want to blow up and risk my chance of getting the golden ticket. So I feel like this year I have so much more experience I'm bringing into the race, and I think that's just going to yield to a really great race for me and a great outcome. And actually, Jamil, I'm actually finished top 10 at Western States. So while I'm already in Western States, I have the goal of winning the race this year at Javelina. So I guess it's a little bit of I'm chasing the golden tickets in the sense that I want to get first place, but I guess there's no risk of not getting into Western States per se.
That's right. That was my bad. I do have it in my notes. You were 7th, 8th overall, 2023, 15:38 at Western States. And I believe you earned that spot. Was it from Tarawera this year?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was I remember that being just a great race. Third place, 8:11. And coming off, I think it was a Bandera DNF as well.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
How did your Western States go this year? Were you satisfied with that performance, or are you hungry for more?
Oh, I'm always trying to be my best self. And while Western States this year, I think was my best self, it was the first step of a long journey of what I hope to accomplish at Western States. I think I went into Western States having this lofty goal of, number one, getting top 10, but number two, maybe a podium finish. And I feel like I executed that race so well. I finished feeling energized while also going into the well at the same time. And now that I've had that experience and I know the course intimately now, and also ran it in a really great time, I think I can definitely shave off a significant time chunk, which hopefully, yields to even a better placement next year. So yeah, I definitely I'm planning to go back. I want to improve upon my time and definitely my place.
Well, I love that you're coming back to Javelina and have that goal of taking the win. Absolutely love that. Talk a little bit about your training. I know you've had some incredible performances so far in 2023. Looks like you were just out at the Tunnel Light Marathon in Washington. How are things feeling right now?
I feel like this training block is different in the sense that I feel really strong. And actually, my preparation for this Javelina is somewhat of an experiment because you just mentioned I ran a marathon last month, and I really wanted to experiment how a marathon training block would transition to a very fast runnable 100 miler like Javelina. So last month I did a full 6 to 8 week block of marathon training, ran 2:32 at Tunnel Light, and then I've been slowly like increasing my mileage the past month, and I feel like I am running 100 plus mile weeks and I feel very strong. I don't feel tired. So I feel like that is an indication to me that I'm like very ready to show up to like a very fast, nonstop running race like Javelina. And having run it now and like knowing what to experience and like what to expect, I think that's just going to set me up for success. So yeah, I'm excited to see what this experiment yields, whether that's a placement or whether that's like, who knows, maybe like course record. I don't know what's in store, but I'm just kind of excited to see how I show up as my best self next weekend.
Can you go a little more specifically into your race strategy approach with these kind of loftier goals this time around, and not necessarily having to save yourself to make sure you're securing that golden ticket? Like, you have a little more freedom, I think, to probably explore your limits on this course.
Definitely. I think my race strategy is different in the sense of I'm being a little bit more aggressive with my pacing. I think in two years ago in 2021, I was pretty religious in the sense of like sticking to my pacing target to ensure that I have more energy in the bank for lap 4 and 5. I think this year I'm gonna like be a little bit more aggressive with that pace, and I think I'm going to allocate a course record pace from the beginning, and with my training that has I've allocated my training to support me in like that pace and that effort. And so, yeah, I'm like shooting for the stars. I'm going to like set the pace faster than I did 2 years ago, and we'll just see if I can hold on, I guess.
Looking at the field that's assembling for next weekend, do you feel like that is going to put you at the front of the pack, or do you think there's some other folks in the event that are going to be also doing something similar?
Yeah, if I'm speaking specifically to the men's field, I would say I hope there's other people that have that aspiration as well to run 13 hours or faster, because I show up as my best self when I'm pushed, and that's going to help me show up as my best self next Saturday. So I definitely think like Zach Bitter has such a resume of like fast 100-mile racing. I hope he's fit and healthy, but I think he can be a great candidate. I know Joe ran this 2 years ago and his pacing was off, but I'm hoping that he's healthy. I think there's just so many candidates that can sustain a pace of like a 13-hour 100-miler. So I definitely think that's going to put me in the front pack. But, if it's any more fast, if we're on like a 12:30 pace, I'm definitely going to like hold back. But you can definitely expect me to be on like that 13-hour or faster front pack pace.
Nice. Yeah, I think I remember talking with Pat Reagan years ago, and even Zach, kind of when we switched to the 5-loop course. And I think it's always been a long-term dream to have, man, if there was just a group up at the front running that 13-hour pace together, it'd be just a dream to watch, and probably a dream to be a part of.
Yeah, I'm excited to see like who's there and who hangs on, who makes moves. I think it's gonna be really fun. I'm excited to see what happens.
I'm curious your nutrition plan for an event like this. It seems like with some of your performances, like you probably got that pretty dialed at this point.
You would think that someone who's run, I think I've ran like 1,500 milers to date. You would think I would have figured out my hydration earlier on, but it's actually been a really long journey. And this year has been such a catalyst for me to learn more about my body. I learned this year that I'm a really salty sweater. I always assumed I was the opposite. I've also learned like my carbohydrate and glycogen needs. And I used Western States as an experiment of different strategies. And I feel like I've really honed in on like how many carbs, how much sodium do I need per hour in certain climates. And so, yeah, I feel confident that I have a good, playbook on how to be successful this next weekend. Definitely leaning on more of like a gel and like liquid calorie type approach. Especially when we're running so fast. Like, I just don't know if I just think solid foods opens up a can of like potential risk. So that's kind of my strategy for Hov.
Right on. Well, at this point, we're going to move into our 10-question fartlek round. Ryan, are you ready?
I am ready.
All right. First question, what sneakers will you be wearing for the Javelina 100?
Okay, I actually don't know the answer to this question. I'm debating between like 4 shoes, and it's actually, I need to figure that out this weekend. I'm debating between a trail shoe and a road shoe, so you will find out next Saturday.
All right, we'll be keeping an eye out. Will you be listening to music or podcasts during the race?
Neither, just myself and my breath and conversations with other people if they want to talk. Actually, I don't think we're going to be talking, so probably just silence.
Just breathing.
Just breathing.
At what age did you stop trick-or-treating?
Ooh, I think it was probably 7th grade. So whatever age that is. Is that like 12 maybe?
I think it's 13. I should probably know this.
Okay.
What costume will you be wearing next weekend?
Ooh, I have a somewhat of a Barbie outfit. So debating how full Barbie I am in the race so it doesn't prohibit performance. But if I'm on the podium next weekend, I will for sure be Barbie.
Love it. Love it. If you had to fuel your race entirely on candy, what type would it be?
I'm a big like sour gummy candy person, so I would probably do like a mixture of sour gummy worms, Peachos, a combination of that.
Nice. Breakfast on race day. Are you team bagel or team oatmeal?
Team oatmeal with peanut butter.
All right. If you could choose a walkout song, what would it be?
There's this new song called Rush. I just posted a reel today, kind of like manifesting my goals for next weekend. And the artist is named Troy, and it's called Rush, and it's just like a good hype song. So I would say that's my most recent walkout song.
Nice. Well, everyone listening, go check out that song at ultra.ryan on Instagram. Best hallucination at an endurance event.
Oh gosh, I somehow had the idea of running the Tahoe 200 in 2019, and that whole second night, I had manifestations of like one of my clients that I was working with on my day job. The day prior to my race, she sent me like this really nasty email kind of like rebuking me as a consultant, and I was like really shattered and like sad. And so the whole second night I was just envisioning like every time I would step over a root or a rock, it was like me sending an email to her, like telling her how much like I disliked her. It's like it makes no sense as I explain it, but it happened that night.
She is integrating into your dreams, that's for sure. Wow.
Yes.
If you could recommend any running related item to a new runner, what would it be?
Any new item to a runner?
Any running related item to a new runner.
I'm a big fan of running belts. I know that's maybe polarizing for some people, but I love belts because you can just fit so much in them, and then you can be hands-free. So I've been using Ultimate Directions Comfort Belt recently. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different products on the market, but running belts, huge fan.
Last question. I think we already know the answer to this one. What place are you finishing at the Javelina 100?
I'm gonna say hopefully first. So that's the goal next weekend.
Love it. Well, Ryan, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us today. Really excited to see you out at Javelina again next weekend. Safe travels, and we'll see you in the desert.
Hey, see you soon. Bye.